Out of all the auto rifles in Destiny 2, I think the Suros Regime Exotic is probably the most competitive auto rifle. You can choose between two modes with Suros Regime. You can go with spinning up, where as you hold down the trigger, the rate of fire constantly increases, or you can go with dual speed receiver, which changes the fire rate when you aim down sights to be just a little bit slower, and it's going to hit harder as well. In yesterday's video, we talked about the Sweet Business Exotic Auto Rifle and how it's not exactly a 360 RPM when it comes to damage model, and it has to be spun up all the way for it to be slightly better than other guns. The same cannot be said for the Suros Regime, because if you choose spinning up, it's still going to be good as a dueler, but if you hold down the trigger after that initial gunfight, then the next person you see is going to get deleted. I took the liberty of making a very handy Venn diagram of comparing Sweet Business to the Suros spinning up. As you can tell, the things they have in common is they both make orbs on double kills, and when fully spun up, they shred people. You'll notice that the Suros has a good damage model. It might heal after a kill. It has a fast reload. It pairs with anything, which means you don't necessarily need to pair it with a blinding grenade launcher just to get the drop on people. You could use it with the shotgun. You could use it with the snipe. The only negative is it only has a medium magazine. So if you want to slay the entire team, I think you might have to use something else. Sweet Business, on the other hand, features a large magazine, it has great hipfire, and it autoloads primary bricks if you walk over them. But it also has a slow reload, a bad damage model, and it needs some sort of assistance from teammates or blinding launchers. I feel that the only reason you would use Sweet Business is if you're going for a 6-man multi-kill, or you're trying to suppress fire down a hallway, even though someone's just going to walk in front of that barrage of bullets and snipe you anyway. The Suros Regime, on the other hand, can do that adequately enough that I think it's worth using every single time over Sweet Business. This is of course assuming you're building some sort of competitive loadout to take into the comp playlist. I think Suros Regime can absolutely hang there. With the pros and cons established, let's talk more about the Suros Regime. On the bottom half of the magazine, your bullets do more damage, it is very noticeable, and you have a chance to heal on the kill. That's super advantageous to someone like me who rarely runs any recovery. The background gameplay is about to shift to a rumble match that just shows the dueling capabilities of the Suros Regime, and as you can tell, it doesn't really need any bells or whistles to win a 1v1. But when you do consider the bells and whistles, it gets deadly. You got glass half full for extra damage, you have the spinning up, so even if you're missing, you're still going to recover some of that fast time to kill, or if you're good and actually land all the shots, that means you can keep the weapon spun up by just holding down the trigger, and maybe delete some second unsuspecting foe. I wasn't joking when I said Suros Regime is one of the most competitive auto rifles. My teammate Drewski used this in one of our comp grinds initially for the pinnacle weapons. He got all the way to 5500 using a Suros Regime. I used like an anti-open and Aachen. I mean, look at that background right there. I'm gonna repeat that clip. It is so clean. It is so satisfying to use this. I just don't feel as engaged when I use a hand cannon as when I use a Suros Regime. I feel like every kill I get with this thing, I earn. So if you're just getting back into Destiny and you want some sort of weapon that's going to be tried and true, just an always consistent option, maybe consider getting good with the Suros. I think it's well worth picking up. Let me know in the comment section if you'd like me to make a part 2 of this video where I look at the Suros Regime again, but with dual speed receiver instead of spinning up. Or I could probably just ask Drewski to make a part 2 to this video where he just talks about the gun himself, since I feel that he has a lot more hours with the gun under his belt and he might have better insights than me, better builds and that sort of thing. Like in this gameplay, I'm using Actium War Rig, which automatically reloads my auto rifle by 10% of the magazine, so in Suros' case, that's going to be 4 bullets every couple seconds, and it's good. It does extend the bottom half of the spinning up, but if you're telling me people would choose Actium War Rig over One-Eyed Mask, I wouldn't believe you. On that note, I think that's everything I wanted to say about Suros Regime, so I'll just end the video here. I don't feel that the gameplay was anything too special, so I'm just gonna, end it early. But I will be streaming live at twitch.tv/camicakes. I'll see you there.